How are you, my fans, sneak peepers, and curious friends? I am difficult and demanding. If you want to know my real name, then hold still, and I might bring your wish to fruition. Before we begin, you can find this podcast show in iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Blueberry, Google Play Music, TuneIn, YouTube, and Stitcher. This is the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real, uncensored, and shooting straight between the eyes. The third eye, that is. I am going to hit you with explicit truth. This solo show is outrageously honest and keenly witty with a view into life. Yes, I said life. That's what we do every day when we wake up from sleeping. We are living life. Well, some of us at least. Let's get something straight. Really, really straight. I am truly, actually, habitually, and shamelessly difficult and demanding. And I completely own it. Now, I don't ask for much because I expect and receive it all. I firmly believe that if you expect shit, you will receive shit. What does that mean? Well, it means expect nothing but the best and don't settle for less. As always, I, your host, Tara, am keeping it real and uncensored. Now that you are settled, it is time to dive into episode 70 of the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast. What's cheating? You think you know? You've got it all laid out and you're sticking with your definition. That's good, even great. But please keep in mind, our definitions may not match. And even if we ended up in a relationship, whose definition would reign? Before I begin, I am going to do a call out. What's a call out? Well, it's not a shout out. I am calling out you motherfucking lurkers. If you have entered my world, then be honest with yourself about it. You want to be here, and you know I want you here, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, climb aboard and enjoy the entire show, because I am giving you plenty of ridiculous honesty. Once the podcast episode ends, I am keeping it going on my Instagram page at Difficult and Demanding and on my Twitter page at Mrs. D and D. All right, everyone. I hope you are well and you've had a wonderful week. What I want to explore with you today is what is cheating? And I'm talking about cheating in regards to a relationship. What's cheating? We all have our different definitions of what constitutes cheating and what does not. But at the end of the day, it involves a third party of some sort. And for some of you, cheating may be defined as simple as texting or flirting, or it may go as far as, having sex with someone. So today, what we're going to be exploring is a possibility of cheating. It may be cheating for some. It may not be cheating for others at all. But let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. So I read an article, and that article was called, "You May Call It Cheating, But We Don't." There is a woman and her husband. They've been together for 12 years. They like each other and they are still in love with one another. And they have every plan to spend the rest of their lives together. So one night, while the husband was away, the wife had a male friend stop by for a drink. And after the second drink, the wife, which her husband is out of town for business, this wife kissed the male friend that came over at night for a drink, and he kissed her back. But then he stopped. He said he shouldn't do this and said that he should leave. He comes over at night for a drink with another man's wife when he knows this man is out of town and he is slightly confused, perplexed as to what may possibly happen? Come on now. You and I both know we're all adults. We know what the fuck is up. So on one hand, he was slightly hoping. On the other hand, he didn't expect it to happen, but it did. You see, the friend knows her husband. This male friend also likes her husband. And he is afraid that if things go any further, he wouldn't be able to look her husband in the eye. I'm trying to figure out, if you came over at night to have a drink with another man's wife, and you've had more than one drink, you know she's attracted to you. You know you're attracted to her, but you can still manage to look him in the eye. Where do you draw the line in the sand as far as what you can look someone in the eye over or not? You knew when you came over what the fuck was up. So that's what I mean, where when it comes to cheating, there's so many different shades of what's okay and what's not okay, depending on your personal preferences. And to be honest, one could consider that he was cheating when he determined he had an attraction to this guy's wife. And then when he took her up on the offer to come drink at night when he was out of town, someone can constitute that as cheating. So he's drawn the line in the sand as far as kissing, but he did not stop the kiss. He kissed her back, then he stopped it. He wanted the taste. Yes, he wanted the taste before he actually stopped it, before he determined that he couldn't look her husband in the eye. Now, I got to call some form of bullshit on this, but the point I'm making is, we think that we have these concrete notions, ideas of what cheating is or is not. But depending on the person, the place, the time, who they're with, your definition of cheating, that needle moves according to what is up and what's going on. And you need to know that. He could kiss her up to a certain point. He met that point and he stopped. Now he can still look this dude in the eye, even though he just finished tonguing his wife. Makes sense, right? No, the hell it doesn't, but let's move on. So she said to herself at that point in time, okay, when she kissed him, he kissed her back. He stopped and said, I can't do this anymore. I must leave. She had a thought that ran through her mind. She said her husband would not have objected. Yes, her and her husband, she says, they are monogamous. Yet he would not have rejected her kissing another man. Clearly, someone needs a goddamn dictionary. But she said, there is a small asterisk next to her name in regards to monogamy. Under certain circumstances, her husband is not disappointed at all if she does not follow the letter of the law as far as monogamy. What you think about that? They're monogamous, but she has an asterisk next to her name, which means under special circumstances, she does not have to be monogamous. That sounds like some bullshit to me. That sounds like someone trying to put some fucking lipstick on a goddamn pig. If your husband is okay with you fondling, hooking up with other people, sleeping with other people, then that means you are not monogamous. Or you have come up with your own definition of monogamy. Your body belongs to everyone else, but your mind and heart belongs to your husband. Is that your definition of monogamy? Like I said, we as human beings, we change. We rationalize, we change definitions according to doing what the hell we want to do. She says they're very much monogamous. They're very much in love. They plan on spending the rest of their lives together. But she has a small asterisk next to her name. So when she wants to, she can get her fucking freak on and she's still considered faithful. What you think about that? She said as a rule, her being honest about her indiscretions or infidelities has made them more of a team and improved their sex life. You see, I can respect that. Two people who can be honest upfront about what is up, what's going on, what one needs, what one can't give, that is some realism that I can deal with. I can fuck with that shit. I can't fuck with the lies, the denial, the sweeping on the rug, the sneaking around. See, I can't deal with that shit. But this, I can fuck with. I can fuck with this because at least she's being upfront about it and she's not taking away his power of choice. She's giving him the opportunity to choose whether he wants to do this or not. But she's saying her indiscretions or infidelities has made them more of a team and improved their sex life. So basically, her husband gets off on knowing that she has been with other men. I believe that's called cuckolding. Cuckold? Yes, it's a kink, it's a fetish. Where a man wants to watch his wife get fucked by somebody else. And it's painful and pleasurable for him at the same damn time. So when she says that they are monogamous, but there's an asterisk next to her name, what she's saying is that they have redefined the rules of monogamy. They have redefined the rules of cheating. They have identified a kink, a fetish, something that is arousing to her husband and allows her to get her needs met as far as being with other people. They are defining and living out a life according to what they want, what they need. So if that's the case, I would say that she does not have any infidelity. She does not have any indiscretions because clearly she is on the same page with her husband. She said her husband originally had a great fear of her cheating on him. And he's turned or translated his fear into enthusiasm for the idea. Yes, he went from being scared to realizing, you know what? At first, this causes me great pain, great discomfort. But I think this shit gets my dick hard. And I want to pursue if this is the case, because if this is the case, then I think this may be some serious, great foreplay for my wife and I. And lo and behold, they are into cuckolding. She gets to be the adulteress, and he gets to be the husband in misery and pain. But he's also receiving great pleasure from the activity of his wife. A lot of you are intrigued, can't understand it, want to know why. And that's why I talk about in a number of my episodes, you really got to be in tune with yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know what the fuck is up. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't understand yourself, then you won't understand what you need and how to get the fuck off. When you are in denial, trying to be something you're not, trying to pretend like something arouses you when it does not, you are basically shortchanging yourself. You are shortchanging your life. But when you can identify what it is that you like, you need, you want, and you will have, that is half the battle. Because then at that point in time, you get to peruse, you get to prowl and find what it is that fulfills that need for you. No one has to know except for you and the person that you choose to share it with. But you cannot live a full life when you are trying to be something that you're not. If his wife enjoys being an adulteress, she enjoys being with other people, she can't change her nature. She needs what the fuck she needs. She wants what the fuck she wants. Now the question is, how does it work for her partner, her spouse, which is her husband? And luckily for her, he likes to be cuckolded. He likes to see her get screwed fucked by other men because that turns him the fuck on and it helps their sex life. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's fulfilling and feeding itself at the same time. So cuckolding is a term used where there are fantasies, video, whatever. But this is shared by many, and cuckolding is a fetish that has emotional masochism, which means you like to motherfucking suffer mentally and emotionally. You get off on a mind fucking yourself on some ridiculousness. Yes, your pain is actually your pleasure. And that is why people like to cuckold. They enjoy the discomfort. They enjoy the hurt, the shame, the shock, the belittling. is what they need, is what they get off on. So his interests and wants and her interests and wants have actually balanced each other out because they are into cuckolding. And it has added a sense of adventure to their sex life. Yes, it adds adventure because she can rotate through dicks like, motherfucking lollipops. And he gets to watch a new and different experience and get aroused and replay that shit over and over in his head when it's time for him to be with his wife. But that works for them. What gets you going? What gets you off? You got to know. And when you know it, you got to accept it and own that shit and live your life accordingly. You have to live it accordingly. When she was younger, or before she got married, let's start there. This wife had slept with twice as many people as her husband. She slept her way all around Europe. And then when things started to get complicated, she bounced the fuck out. She got out. She didn't stick around long enough for any issue or problems to start. She left. She was actually called a manizer, not a womanizer, a manizer, because she chucked those motherfuckers like trash. Out, 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 next, out, next, out, next. That's what she did. She liked to get fucked. She liked to get boned. And even when she met her potential husband, her spouse, she didn't shy away from who and what the fuck she was. She owned that and she presented it to him. She was upfront. So now, after her husband finds out how many people she slept with and how sexually essential she is, he was worried about losing her or her leaving him. And he could not figure out the life of him, what to do with all that anxiety. So they got creative. He took his anxiety and he turned it into eroticism. He turned it in a way that benefited him instead of eating him alive. Now, he could have gone down the path of being, jealous, paranoid, something like that. But it became erotic. It became a sense of adventure. And it got both of them discussing their needs, their wants, their interests. Their fears and insecurities allowed them to experience another level in life. They were comfortable within themselves to be able to experience this in life. And it changed their sex life. Do you know why it changed their sex life? Can you begin to try to understand why it changed their sex life? No. Well, I'm here to inform you. Let me know. I'm going to tell you what's up. When it comes to sex, generally, typically, it's supposed to feel really good. But it's supposed to feel good on a few different levels, not just physically. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then physically. Most of us focus on the physical aspect only, which is great. But if you want to have mind-blowing, earth-shattering orgasms, you have to start throwing in some other components. The more open, the more vulnerable, the more safe and secure that you feel with the person that you're with, the more you can expose yourself, bare ass, butt ass, naked, literally and figuratively. That changes the landscape of your fucking session. It changes the intensity. It changes every motherfucking thing you think you know, you've known, you knew, you understand, or you can even begin to understand. The more you can share yourself with another and you connect with them and you have a strong connection where you don't judge one another, you can talk about whatever, you can show whatever, and you're still there for one another, that changes what the hell goes on in your sex life. So when she said this made our sex lives better. Let me explain to you. It's because they didn't have any secrets. They didn't judge one another. They accepted one another. They understood one another. And that translated into love, safety, security, vulnerability. And that feeds into your sexual union. A lot of people don't know, you don't understand, you think you can just go around fucking motherfuckers, sucking ducks, or do whatever the hell that you like to do and think that you're having the best experience in the world. No. The shit you have, the shit you got going on, it's surface level. I'm talking to you about some knee deep shit, not surface level, knee deep or fucking neck deep, as I like to call it. So when you're going around hooking up, connecting with a lot of people, that's cool, that's fine, that's your goddamn business. That is your prerogative. I don't care. But if you're doing it, you need to understand why you're doing it, what you're trying to get out of it. And most of you don't know. You think that you're doing it just to come, but no, you're doing it for some other reasons. And you need to figure that shit out on your own time. But when you can be open and honest and vulnerable with another person and show them who you are, that changes your sex life. That sets that shit on fire. You can connect. You can communicate. You can't have great sex in the bedroom with a fuck all relationship on the outside. And some of you say, yes, you can. I have. That's not a fucking relationship. I'm talking about a relationship, a real sexual relationship. I'm talking about adult shit. A person you can have a conversation with. You enjoy their company. You enjoy looking at them. You understand one another. You can be there for one another. A level of intimacy. Can you get what I'm talking about? Try. If not, whatever. So the more raw, bare that you can be with another, before you have sex with them, before you're involved with them, that changes your sex life. That makes that shit better. Now, some of you people, you are sexually limited, okay? That can mean any and everything. You choose what the fuck it means. Some of you like to be touched. Some of you don't like to be touched. Some of you have parameters of what you can or cannot do. Some want to do everything. Some want to do nothing. I can't speak on that. But the more open you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically meaning you're a motherfucking freak, whatever. You got two freaks, you can communicate, you can talk, you like each other, you can vibe with each other. Your bedroom antics should be off the goddamn charts. But there's many components and many variances going on. But I'm just trying to tell you guys, if you want to go to the stratosphere, you want to go beyond the next level, you got to stop being scared of showing who the fuck you are and say, bam, this is what I am. What the fuck do you want to do? And don't fuck with people who want to judge. Why you need someone else to judge you? You probably do that enough your damn self. Acceptance. If you don't have acceptance, I can tell you this, your sex life is going to be limited. It may start off with a fucking bang, but your shit's going to fizzle out like a goddamn match before you know it. And you're going to be wondering where it went. Where it went is you people cannot communicate. You cannot relate. You do not understand each other. You're not intimate. You're not vulnerable. You're not honest. You're not trustworthy. You're not loyal. And the list goes on and on and on. So that is how their sex life got better, because they were able to communicate with one another. They knew that most people could not, would not, or even try not to understand what it is that she likes to cheat. She likes to be an adulteress. She can't stop herself. She is a manizer. She is a self-proclaimed manizer. What's a manizer? That's the opposite of a goddamn womanizer. And he likes getting brain fucked, which means he likes to feel fucking emotional, mental pain, because that automatically translates into sexual arousal for him. So you have two people who are wired differently than most, who have found each other. They have found a home. So now do you understand why these two plan on being together for the rest of their goddamn lives? Because they have been able to expose and show themselves to one another. And they probably couldn't do it to other people. So now they have a safe space. They have a safe home. No one wants to let that go. When you know that you're a motherfucking freak, your kink, your fetishes, and everything else going on, when you know that you found a home and it's pretty much conducive, it's okay, you don't want to let go of that shit. Because to find a goddamn new relationship, you know what that means? That means that you run the risk of not being able to expose this part of yourself. You may be judged, you may be labeled, or you may not be able to live this out again. So if you found someone who basically has no problem cheating on your ass and allows you to do or to be the cuckold or the cuckoo or whatever the fuck they call it, to get you fucked up in the head so you can get sexually aroused, if you found someone who can play that out with you, you're not going to be inclined to let that go. What's difficult is when people have kinks and fetishes and they need and they want to do certain things and they are with a partner who is plain vanilla, sliced bread. They like it basic. They like it simple. They like it quote unquote clean. Well, you're a goddamn super freak. You like it from any and every direction. You want to touch, sniff, stick, pick, rip, any and everything you like to do. How the fuck you going to be with someone who's limited and restricted? Eventually, you're going to have to limit and restrict yourself or you're going to have to toss that fucking ass to the curb. But a number of us get in relationships, we stay in relationships, we know there's no motherfucking compatibility. There's no compatibility. You want one finger in the pink, one goddamn finger in the stink, and she or he is not having that shit. What do? A lot of y'all stay for fear that someone may find out that you're a fucking freak. Some of you are fucking shameless as hell and don't give a fuck. Which I say, mad props for you. I got a lot of respect for you. But a lot of us stay in some shit that doesn't work for us for fear of being exposed, for fear of being judged. How do you explain to somebody, say, look, I had to break up with Susie because, look, I like to put one finger in the pink, another finger in the stink, and she wasn't having that shit. So I dumped her ass. No, you can't explain that Susie was wonderful in all ways except for she didn't want one in the pink and she didn't want one in the stink. No one's going to understand that. So what you do is, you say, I really don't need that. Susie's a good girl. Most of everything is great. I can overlook that. I can let that go. I can keep that in my mind and my fantasies. I've done this enough times in my life that I can just replay what the fuck I've done with other people over and over again, and that should be sufficient for me. Right? Some fucking cowardly ass bullshit. That's what I call it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Why do we need to water down? We need to chip away. We need to change. We need to lock it away, sweep it under the rug for fear of what people may think. What you should be worried about is not what other people think. It's about what the fuck you're thinking, because you're sacrificing yourself because you don't want to be judged. You may have someone right around the corner that is into everything you love and like to do. But you're too busy caught up with Susie and her fucking vanilla ways that you miss out on that opportunity. Just some food for thought. She said the way that he handled it or decided to approach it was better than mainstream. Mainstream reactions typically are, jealousy, becoming paranoid, and or controlling. But he surrendered to the shit. He said, yippee-yi-yay, hallelujah, bring it, motherfucking bring it. Because that's what he liked. And they found out in a slightly difficult way, but they found it out and they worked through it. So her husband's now realizing that he likes to know, to understand, to watch that his wife, likes to be with other men. She's a manizer. That's what he's realizing about herself. And she's realizing, I love my husband. I want to stay with my husband. I'm going to stay with my husband. But I can't get rid of my itch to be a fucking hoe. I don't mean hoe in a derogatory manner. You're saying, Tara, how was that? What I mean by hoe is someone who is sensual, sexually liberated, bold, unashamed, don't give a fuck. You can label, judge. She can do whatever the fuck she wants to do because she's living her life. She's being free and blissful, and everyone else can kiss her ass. That's what I mean by hoe. It takes a lot of courage, independence, confidence to be able to do that. And I have a lot of respect for that. So she's realizing that I can't stop the attractions I feel for other men, handsome men. And she has a friend, a male friend, that she's attracted to, and he's handsome. So she's saying, what the fuck? What am I going to do? I know my husband likes to be cuckold. Yeah, he's technically out of town, so he can't watch this shit, but why should I give up the opportunity not to taste the lips on this motherfucker that's sitting in front of me right now, who probably has droplets of wine, residue of wine still on his fucking lips, that I can lick that shit off and suck it off at the same goddamn time? Why should I let go of that? Huh? Why should she say, why should I let go of that? I know my husband likes to be cuckold, but technically, he's supposed to be here, but he's not. So she's basically playing with fire. She's skirting the boundaries. She's trying to figure out a way to get what the fuck she wants without breaking the rules. Right? Now, she knows that she should not have gotten to that point. She knows that she should not have invited dude over for a drink at night when her husband wasn't over. She knew that when she was attracted to him, she was drawn to him, that she should have pushed him out of her life immediately. And she also emailed his ass like she was a fucking cyber stalker. So she knew she was attracted to him. She sent him several emails. And she made plans to see him alone at night. Now his ass act like he didn't know what the fuck was up when he showed the fuck up when she kissed him. It's like, dude, people, stop playing games. You know what's up. Be honest. Be honest. You want her, she wants you. You know her husband's out of town. You know you people are going to be drinking. What the fuck you do at night when two grown-ass people are drinking alone and they find each other attractive? Something's going to happen. So he's trying to play innocent, like, I can't look your husband in the eyes if I let this go too far. No, motherfucker, you should poke your goddamn eyes out because you're a motherfucking liar. You know why you came over there. You know what you wanted. You know what she wanted. And you knew you were going to be fucking drinking, so you knew something was going to happen. Like, get honest, get real. Okay? I can't stand fucking bitch ass fucking excuses when you know what you were doing. So, she's married to someone else. She's married to someone else. He likes to watch her with other people. She likes to be with other people. He likes to watch her with other people. She likes to be with other people. I would say that's a match. I would say this husband and wife is a goddamn match. I would say they're fortunate and very lucky as hell. Not many people get mixed up in this type of situation. Some people, they end up just, the libido, everything goes out the window because they're with somebody who the shit just does not work. So, should she have had the late night drink? Who knows? But how else are you going to entice and seduce a motherfucker to come sleep with you? She knew what she was doing. Should she have done it? Who the fuck knows? Who the hell cares? For those of you who are not into this type of stuff, you would say she's wrong. She was cheating. Other people who are into cuckolding would say she's not wrong. She's not cheating. How do you find cheating? You can't answer that for me. Because depending on who you are with, where you are in your life, where the fuck you are, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes along with it that will determine what your definition of cheating is. Now, if you're some people saying, this is the definition, this is how it is, this is what I stick with, I'm going to tell you that's some bullshit because life is not that goddamn black and white. If life was that easy, things would be so much better. But life is not black and white like that. It's not. Things as you get older do not become crystal clear and cookie cutter clean. There are some things that are muddled, confusing, gray. It just does not fit perfectly pretty and between the lines. Things are muddled. So if her goal was to avoid having extramarital temptation and she wants to protect her marriage, then she would probably have to start doing things a little differently, right? She would have to. But here's the thing. Her husband has led her to believe that occasionally giving into the temptation could be okay for their marriage, possibly even very good for their sex lives, for their home fires. What do you do then? When you know there are occasions in which you can indulge yourself, cross the line, not really cheating. And it's okay because in the end, you're doing charity for your own damn marriage, right? You're doing charity for your marriage. You are getting your husband's libido going. You're getting your libido going, and you have something to talk about and discuss. So you're thinking, shit, it's working for my marriage. It may not work for yours, but this shit works for mine. My indiscretions, my cheating brings my husband and I closer together and makes her sex off the wall and fucking firecrackers. What should I do? I have to do it. It's for the betterment of my marriage, right? I couldn't dare not do this for my marriage. Because if I don't do it, what's going to happen? Our flames, our fire, our passion, our desire is going to turn to embers. The closeness, the communication, the connection we have, we will lose that. Because we will both know that neither one of us are being honest and true to ourselves and to this relationship. Yeah, that's what would happen. You got to be real. You got to be true and honest to yourself, about yourself, and to the person you're with. Now, here's the funny thing. Years ago, her husband told her he had fallen in love with someone else. He also told her that he was deeply confused and he was scared by it. Now, she didn't know who her husband had fallen in love with. She didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. And most importantly, she didn't understand how this fucker kept this a secret, and she had no clue. All she knew is that he had growing feelings. And when she found out it was a coworker, she said she felt like she had been shot. She broke things, she threw him out, and he ended the affair. Now, what the fuck is that shit? You got a wife who you know likes to cheat and likes to do all these different things. And you decide to have your own fling and affair, and that's not okay? Why is it okay for her and not for you? Oh, because she has inclinations, proclivities to doing that type of stuff and you do not? We need to tread very carefully about allowing people to have double standards or hypocritical rules when it comes to you. No one can define what the fuck you do. If she can lay with another man and you say it's okay as long as you're watching, then I would say, hey, I'm in love with this person. They're meeting my needs. Do you want to sit the fuck back and watch us do this? No. Different rules for different people, and we need to be very careful before we allow someone to place restrictions and things like that on us, but we're supposed to be open and accommodating. So he ended his love affair because she lost her she lost her ass, lost her mind, and she threw a fit. But he's the loving one and gets to watch her be with other people. Two situations in which people can say that both parties are cheating. One is a traditional way in which he fell in love with a coworker. The other one is not so traditional, where he knows she's cheating, he gets off on her cheating, and she cheats. Which one is right? Which definition of cheating is right? You can't really say. I told you it depends on the parties involved, the circumstances, the situation. It depends on a whole bunch of stuff. So before we go around saying, you know what, this is cheating, this is cheating, this is cheating, you need to pump your brakes and step the fuck back. Because life is not that crystal clear. It's just not clear like that at all. He ended the affair. She says since then she has forgiven him and they have worked hard to figure out why. Why did he fall in love with someone else? Clearly his fucking needs weren't being met. Clearly he felt insecure. Clearly he felt inadequate. I would say this was probably a consequence, indirect or direct, of the cuckolding. That's what I would say. He had had enough of watching his wife get off with other people. So he wanted some safety, some security, some stability himself, and he sought that from someone else. I don't think he was seeking any cuckolding with this new partner. But the fact is, why people fall in love, they're falling in love with another person because there's a gap, there's a hole, there's a need that needs to be fucking fulfilled. That's what it's about. People are trying to find their best way to be goddamn happy. Happiness, that's why we're here, happiness. But you really need to think very carefully and hard about what you think cheating is or is not. And you have to understand, you may not agree with me, but you have to understand and respect that. Depending on who you're with, where you are, what your age, what's going on in your life, that will change what constitutes cheating. And you don't like me saying it, but I'm telling you the truth. Where you're saying it's all cheating. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I find that when you're not fluent and dynamic in life, you are a stickler, you stick. When you're a stickler, you get stuck. You're frustrated, things don't go your way, and you don't have many options. You don't have many options in life at all. But the fact is she lost her mind with him cheating, but he has been loving and supportive in regards to her bullshit. Interesting, isn't it? So eventually she got over the fact that he had an affair because she said that she realized that attraction to other people isn't necessarily a sign your marriage is bankrupt. What she says, I agree, it's true, but I think it's very extreme. Why do we think because we get married, we stop being attracted to other people? Even if you're goddamn blind, you lost your goddamn eyesight, you will find a way to connect, to be drawn to another. That doesn't stop because you happen to sign a piece of paper and say, I do. Like, where would she get this notion that the shit gets shut off? It just goes away. Because you're married. They have nothing to do with one another. We as people like beauty. What our definition of beauty is, it's in the eyes of the beholder. But for her to think that because I'm married, there won't be any attraction unless the attraction is coming from my side because I can't control how I am, that's just some lopsided bullshit. It's okay for her to be a manizer, to have attractions to others, but she can't understand that her husband also can be attracted to somebody other than herself. Kind of self-centered, don't you think? Clearly she has a lot of confidence in herself, but I'm just saying, if she can be attracted to others, so can he. Having an attraction to someone else has nothing to do with the marriage bankrupt. See, what this shows me is that she has a history of leaving relationships once they get complicated. She would just ditch and dump. So the fact that she basically thought that her husband having an attraction to someone else meant her marriage was bankrupt, no. That's what it meant to her in the past. She would be infatuated with someone until someone else came along and caught her goddamn attention. Then at that point in time, she moved on from one relationship to the next. You see how we put our issues onto other people? Yes. She would find someone, fall head over heels, screw like bunny rabbits. That will last until someone else caught her goddamn attention and she dropped the old one, she got with the new one. So she felt threatened. And then she realized, okay, this doesn't mean my marriage is over. This doesn't mean anything at all. We can be attracted to different people and still want to stay with one another. She said one of the challenges in a marriage is to figure out how to deal with lust or love for other people. Lust or love for other people, deal with it. I'm trying to figure out how you have love for another person, because if you were just screwing and hooking the fuck up, how do you have time to fall in love? That's not possible. And lust, well, I mean, shit. We all gonna find somebody that's hot. The problem is she has impulse. She has impulse issues. She can't control her impulse. That's what it boils down to. She has problems controlling her impulse. Whether it be lust or love. She thinks, I see it, I want it, I have it. And life doesn't work that way for everyone else because one, they choose to, or two, they're just not wired like that. She has problems controlling her own impulses. What do you think about that? So naturally, she's projecting that onto her husband, thinking that there's some issue. No, there's no issue. The fact is, she doesn't know herself. So after doing some reflection and speaking with other friends, married couple friends of hers, some of them have a no-tell policies, meaning you do the shit, don't tell me about it, I won't find out about it, whatever. They are monogamous, but they have a don't tell me policy. If you cheat, please don't tell me rule. My thing, if you feel the need to cheat, you need to let me know that shit in advance. If you feel the need to cheat, that means I'm not doing something right or something has changed. And I would be forever grateful for you to let me know that shit up front before you do it. Because I won't stop you. No, I won't stop you. I will encourage you to go where the fuck you are happy. But keep in mind, I'm going to be going some motherfucking place else. Yes, that shit, do it and don't tell me. No. I want you to tell me before you do it. Because then I'm going to wish you well, send you on your way and say, I understand. And in the second breath, I'm out of this bitch. I'm finding somebody else. But that's just me. But some people like to continue the relationships. You do the shit you don't tell me about. No, motherfucker. Tell me. Please tell me in advance. So while you getting some, I'm going to get me some new some. That's what I'm saying. You go get some and I'm going to get some new some. Which means I'm going to find somebody else. And then she said some of the other friends, they have had affairs that they plan on taking to their graves. We stay places when we're not happy. So here's another definition. Marriage. Marriage starts off one way, and the longer you're together, it evolves into something else. And the question is, does that something else match your vision of what it should be? I can't imagine continuously spending the rest of my life in a marriage where I am not sexually fulfilled. And I'm writing that shit down. Well, this is how it is. This is how life is. It's okay. Nothing's better. At least I've been with this person. That's all I know. I'll swallow, I'll shove down, I'll water down, I'll bury any needs or desires I have because at least I have this person. And that's a marriage to some people. And that is okay. That's not a fucking marriage to me, but that's a marriage to someone else. So here's another point. By knowing yourself, you get to define what's cheating. You get to define what a marriage is. You get to define what monogamy is. Because there's no one else can define that but you. Only you can define that. And you can only define that when you understand yourself and what you need. And when you understand yourself and what you need, then you can navigate much, much easier. Much easier. She's had some couple friends who have had flings and then confessed without imploding their marriages. Yeah, people have slept with other people, confessed to their spouse, and all was fine at the end of the day. It's amazing, huh? Makes you really think about the institution of marriage. What we were taught, what we believe, and how this shit actually pans out. I know my definitions of things don't necessarily align with most people, and that's okay. But whether it's a marriage or some union of some sort, there's some major and basic things with me that have to be met. I'm not wasting my time on someone who does not bring what the fuck I need, and I'm sitting here justifying or making excuses for that shit. That's a goddamn no. It's a no. It's not going to happen. So you need to define what's cheating. You need to define what's a relationship, what's a marriage to you, and live your life accordingly. There's a quote that says, infidelity does not kill a relationship, indifference does. Infidelity does not kill a relationship, indifference does. They say infidelity can lead to indifference because it distracts the other person from their partner. Yeah, that's true. But I believe when shit is over, it's goddamn over. And we draw things out. We put shit on life support, giving CPR longer than it needs to. I believe life is supposed to be full of adventure, fun, and excitement. And when you cannot manifest, foster, stoke that back into a relationship, I don't personally consider that living. I want to be stimulated. I want to be exhilarated. I want to be titillated. If I can't be those things with you, I understand that we're compatible. I understand we have a friendship. I understand we've known each other for a long goddamn time. But I would feel like I am dying. I would feel like I am suffocating. I would not feel alive. And I want to feel alive because I want the motherfucking feel. Sensations, sensuality. I want that shit. I can't be just chugging along, pretending like I have no needs, want everything is okay, putting on my motherfucking happy face in public, and that behind the scenes at home, we're not even roommates. We don't talk. I can't do that. Can't do it. That's one of the exciting pieces of getting to know yourself. You know what the fuck you want. You know what you don't want. And that makes things a lot easier to navigate in life. You got to know yourself. And you got to define what it is you want in your life. Don't take these cookie cutter, peanut butter spread type of definitions to what things are in your life. What cheating is, that's your definition. What a marriage is, that's your definition. What your sex life is, that is your definition. Don't let anyone judge you or define that shit for you. It is yours and yours only. And it's okay. And if the person you're with can't understand that shit, you thank them for their time and you say, next motherfucker, bring the next motherfucker, bring the next motherfucker. Why? There's too many people on the face of this earth for us to be sitting around debating, arguing, going back and forth on some things. At the end of the day, nothing's being done, nothing's being solved. So, cheating. What is cheating really? Marriage, partnership, union, dating. What is it? It is what it is. For you, to you at that point in time. And tomorrow it can be something completely different. And trust me when I say that is perfectly okay. It's okay. Now, I start off this episode talking about how this woman invited a male friend of hers over for a drink at night while her husband was away. And after a couple of drinks, they ended up kissing. I told you the guy kissed her back. And then he stopped and he said he needed to leave. But what he also said is that he doesn't want to go around kissing women who aren't available. And when he said that to her, in that moment, she thought, I am available, but I'm not available for marriage. I'm not available to be your girlfriend, but I am available for something else. Yeah, she was available for that night. Now, whether her being available was right or wrong, good, fair, bad, she doesn't know. She frankly doesn't care. All that she knows is that she was available right then, at that night, at that point in time. So what's the moral of what I'm telling you? I am telling you this because we get involved and we don't understand the mentality, the belief systems of people that we're involved with. We think because there's an attraction that our definitions of a relationship, of dating, of marriage, of cheating, of being a boyfriend, of being a girlfriend, of being a husband, of being a wife. We just naturally think that because we are attracted to one another, all those things, they match, they align. And what I'm trying to illustrate to you is that they do not match, they do not align. And even if at one point in time, you and the person you're with, if your definitions of cheating matches in the beginning, as life happens to you, as things just start flowing into your life, just curveballs start throwing into your life, you change. Your views, your perceptions, your ideologies, your definitions, all that, those things change. And the funny thing is we don't know it changes or has changed until we are placed in a situation in life in which we realize, oh, that's not what it used to be. That's not what I used to think. That's not what I used to do. Yeah. You learn all these things and you change over time and you really don't know what's happening until life puts you in a circumstance in which you have to rise to the occasion. And at that point in time, you have an unveiling of who you are. And you might like it, you may not like it. A lot of us struggle with seeing parts of who we are, what we like, what we used to like, and what we don't like anymore. The only thing we can do in life is embrace change. And the only thing we can do in life is to embrace being dynamic. When you're static,
You're frustrated. Things just don't work or as planned. If you can understand that what you see today, what you believe today could be different tomorrow, that'll make your life a lot easier. You don't know if you're in a relationship today, you'll be there in it tomorrow. You don't know if you're in a happy marriage today. You may meet a motherfucker who knocks you on your feet and you want to leave. You don't know what life has in store for you. So if you don't hold on too tight and you loosen your grip a little bit, you should fare well. But for most of us who like to hold on to life really tight, either you're going to break your fingers, your hands are going to tire from exhaustion, or someone going to chop those motherfuckers off. Don't hold the reins of life too tight. It stifles you. It stunts you. It keeps you from pivoting and doing what you need to do. But a lot of us, we get into huge fights about what's cheating and what's not. What's acceptable, what's not. What's a husband, what's a wife, what's not. What's okay, what's not okay. Kinks, fetishes, not good. We get into a whole bunch of stuff. Know yourself and make decisions that will allow you to be the best you, the happiest you as possible. Don't let you or anyone else shortchange you. Don't let anyone else's fears, judgments, insecurities hinder you from living your best life. If you want to be cuckolded, I'm sure you can find a woman who has no problem cheating on your ass and letting you suffer and watch that shit. But you can't judge yourself, and you need to put yourself in the right company so you can live your life to the fullest. So do you think she's cheated? Most of you probably do. Some feel sorry for the husband. Others of you are excited. Some of you are indifferent. That's okay. Different strokes for different folks. But before you go around thinking you know what the fuck cheating is, I'm asking you to pump your brakes, slow the fuck down, maybe even go in reverse. Because life has a funny way of causing you to do some shit you thought you would never have to do, would do, should do, could do. So, to prepare yourself for life's inevitable pulling the rug from up underneath your feet, be ready. Be ready for life. And ride that motherfucker. Ride it well. Because when you don't ride a wave, you get drowned. You get flooded. And we don't want to do that. So, come back and join me next week, and I hope I've given you something to think about. Don't look at life as black and white. There's many different shades in between, and you may find yourself someplace on that spectrum that you did not anticipate, want, think, hope, wish, or pray for. But you find yourself there nonetheless. I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Are you disappointed this has come to an end? Well, it doesn't have to. Reach out and let me know what you think about this episode and my podcast. You can try and slide into my DM, but I will kick your ass out. So I suggest you hop into my DM on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding or Twitter at Mrs. D&D, or leave a comment on one of my posts. Episode 71 is here on March 29th, 2019 from the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast.